Alright class, in our example scenario here, we have this example of the SJC football team ends up punting from their own goal line, which then the punter is going to kick the ball 45 yards up the field, or is then caught and then returned back 10 yards. And again, just for the sake of simplicity here, we're going to assume that all this motion is happening just like up and back in a straight line. We're not worried about any sort of two-dimensional motion just yet. So our job from this is we want to figure out both the total distance the football traveled as well as the overall displacement of our football. So if we think about coming up with a quick diagram here for our first step. Right, so we have our end zone, and basically we're saying that the football is going to start here. We're then told that it's going to be kicked up the field 45 yards. And it's then going to be returned back 10 yards. So with this, again, we're looking at kind of part A of trying to find the total distance traveled. All right, total distance, we're just adding up each individual leg of our motion. So the football first moves 45 yards from the punt. It then moves 10 yards from the punt returner running it back. So we can say, again, our 45 yards was coming from the punt. The 10 yards was coming from our return. So total distance, we add 45 plus 10. The football is going to travel a distance of 55 yards. Again, for our answer there, right, we always want to have the magnitude, right, so the number 55, and we want to have our units, in this case, yards. With displacement, though, right, this is now when we're worried about what's going to be our change in our position from our starting point to our ending point. Here, the direction is important. So I'm going to call the punt going upfield will be our positive direction, and then return back to the end zone, that's going to be our negative direction. So to start off, again, 45-yard punt going up the field. We're defining to the right here as positive. So we'll have a positive 45 yards going to the right. Our 10 yards is going to the left. That's our negative direction, so we're going to subtract that. So if we have positive 45 minus 10, that's going to give us a positive 35. Right, basically that means that our displacement is going to be 35 yards. And then we have a couple different ways that we can describe this. We can call it 35 yards going to the right. We could have also, if we wanted to describe this as maybe 35 yards going upfield, we could have said 35 yards in the positive direction. Right, all these would be valid ways of describing the direction of our motion. So here again, basically what our displacement is telling us is like the overall net motion. All right, if the ball starts at the goal line, it then gets punted 45 yards, return 10. All right, that means the ball is going to end up at a position of the 35-yard line, which is what we're showing here. We're going from goal line up to 35 yards at the very end of that motion.